This weekend, Ashley talked about what I consider one of the most important verses in all the Bible. It's very near the end of Jesus' life, and James and John come and ask for chief seats. They want to sit on his right, sit on his left, and the others were livid. Not because it was selfish what James and John asked for. No, they're livid because they beat them to the punch. And Jesus said, guys, you don't know what you're asking for. They go, no, we do, and we can do it. We can suffer. We'll pay the price to be your big dogs. And Jesus says, no, you don't get it. That's the way the leaders of the Gentiles lead. But you, and this is the important statement, you got to imitate me. And Jesus said, the Son of Man came not to be served, but to serve, and to give his life as a ransom for many. I did a deep dive on this at one season of my life. Literally looked for any example. Looked at Greek literature and Hebrew literature and Latin literature of the Romans. You know how many leaders in the history of the world led through serving rather than through power? Zero. There is no example of a Roman emperor, an Egyptian pharaoh, a Greek king, none, zero, that ever led by serving. I want to show you this in Mark 10, verse 42. Jesus called them together and said, you know that those who are regarded as rulers of the Gentiles lord it over them, and their high officials exercise authority over them. Those who are regarded as rulers. Now, I'm going to get complicated for just a millisecond here. That word in the original language is not passive. It's not that they are regarded. It's actually active. They give the impression that they're leaders. Now, are they leaders? Yes, they've got a bodyguard, they've got an army, they've got the clothes, they got the front office. They are leaders, but they're leaders because they gave the impression that they're leaders and the people followed them. But what Jesus is saying is those who are presenting themselves as leaders, pushing themselves forward as leaders, these leaders of the Gentiles, man, they lord it over the Gentiles. Now, this is really important, okay? Follow along. There are only two rulers of the Gentiles in the gospel period, Herod and Pilate. Herod and Pilate. You may know the story of Herod, who chopped off the head of John the Baptist. Did he want to? No. Why did he? He's a ruler. Because he had this pubescent stepdaughter that danced in front of his cronies, and he made a stupid offer up to half his kingdom, and his pride pinned him in a corner, and he had to give her what she wanted. So the rule is, for Herod, he was ruled by his desire to be seen as a ruler. And the other illustration is Pilate. What did he do? He crucified Jesus. Did he want to crucify Jesus? No. So why did the ruler do what he didn't want to do? Because the Jews that he was ruling threatened him with blackmail. And he was ruled by his desire to be seen as a ruler. Point out to me one exception to that rule of rulers. There is no CEO. There is no movie star. There is no politician, and maybe not even you, who is not ruled by a desire to be seen as a ruler. When you present yourself as a leader, it can be intoxicating and imprisoning. That's why Jesus' statement is so important, that true rulers don't rule by rule and power. They rule by servanthood, because only then is the leader free to do what God wants them to do. And that is something worth talking about.